Hello. So tonight we are going to build another gray Polaris, and actually I'm having one here, so probably after that we can compare. But this is using SA Oblivion, so probably the sound test will be very different, since the other one will be built with GMK Keycaps. But yeah, without further ado, let's start working on that. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I should make sure to have the follow sound on the starting scene screen. Otherwise, I probably don't really know who is following me on the time. But yeah, thanks for the follow. Let me start the build tonight. So this is the keyboard on the carrying case. Yeah, I know this carrying case is basically the 4-star carrying case. I also get one for my Polaris, which is pretty good. So we get the C3 steps, the gray steps. Yeah, I think they come with everything you need for the stabilizers. And the switches are the H1 switches. So it's filmed with desk key film and spring swap with 70 gram TX long spring. So it's the slow spring from TX. And it's also looped with Krytox 205G0 and spring looped with Krytox 105. And now it's the keyboard, and hopefully we have the PCB here. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, it definitely have the PCB. So we are going to build tonight is the gray Winky keyboard, and it comes with the default brass plate and the platform inside, and also this case form, so we probably use both. And this is the weight design. Yeah, it's not something I'm unfamiliar with already, just because I've built two Polaris gray already. I think I like the gray on Polaris a lot after I've been using that for a while. Hi, welcome tonight, Catmoo. Yeah, so this is our start tonight. The gray Polaris. So it's the Winky layout, and we are going to build the Sengen layout. Basically the 7U spacebar, split right shift, and split backspace. So this is not a personal build. Yeah, probably I should mention this is a clone build next time. So I already have a personal gray Polaris. So this is the keyboard I have. Yeah, I can definitely show how that sounds after I build out this one. And it won't be really a comparison. It will be just like two very different sound signature comparison. Not exactly like, okay, which one is the best. It's more like, which one do you prefer more? And the keycap set we are using will be the Botanical, GMK Botanical keycaps. Yeah, pretty exciting to put these keycaps on the gray one, so I know how it will look like. But yeah, I don't think gray will really restrict color you put. It's actually make your color much better, and also it's very unique. It's not like black keyboard you probably can get from pre-built. Okay, so let's start working on the most tedious part of the keyboard building, which is the stabilizers. So I was wondering if I should even skip the stabilizers part in the future. But I figured this is still very time consuming. So if I don't really stream that, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Okay, so we just put this case aside, and we can use the center part for all the stabilizers. So we're going to build the Sengen layout. Let me confirm that. Yeah, so we have split backspace, split right shift, Sengen bottom layout, and we have NC enter, NC shift, and step caps lock. Yes, that's the one. that caps lock? Yeah, actually the client is local, so if I really mess up, unless it's like split redshift or split backspace, like for caps lock I can always just desolder one and solder again, so that's not big deal. Yeah, I like that layout as well. So it's basically the HHKB layout plus the corner control key that you're missing. And that's the reason I like the Oblivion, because it didn't really say any like control, shift, out, or whatever. It just says all the like git commands, which I've been using a lot every day. So I can assign different keycaps, different key maps without having the trouble of finding them, because you already have trouble make sure which one is which. Okay, so 7U and also 2 of 2 U's. So also one thing we want to make sure before building the keyboard is to test the PCB. So let's just like test the PCB when it's still in the case. So we can save some time if we find the PCB is faulty. Okay, let's do via testing. So this PCB is already desoldered, and I think the seller of for my client says it's definitely working. I'm just double confirm in case there's anything going on during the process. Yeah, I don't want to end up like spending time to loop the stabilizers, and the PCB is 40. Especially sometimes people may not solder the same layouts that original PCB is, or even get tested, so it's better to confirm it's still working. Okay. Yeah, how are you doing tonight? Anything fun you are doing for the day while you are working or not working? Yeah, apparently the PCB was soldered with 6.25U layout before. So yeah, good to have the testing working. Just schoolwork. So how much do Polaris go for the aftermarket? I think right now it's around like 5,000. Sorry, not 5,000. 500 to hit 600 if it's already like built or desoldered. So if you get a brand new, which I actually have one, the white Winkless version I got from the extra sale. Like some people will sell them at like 650 or even 700. I don't even know people will buy that or not. Like you probably can get some used ones for a little bit less, but still not very like cheap compared to the group buy price. But you know, the group buy price is basically a false advertisement of how much you need to spend on a keyboard, because the time already passed. So 525 for Winkless Black 1 fully built. I think that's not a bad price. So I've getting this one, this keyboard, originally for 525 as well. So that's also fully built. It's a gray HHKB. and I think I just took it because I don't know if I will be able to get one from extra sale. I have no faith on that. So many people fighting for it. And yeah, that's true because I fell on the first extra sale with 70 units. Like just so many people fighting for the one I want. The gray HHKB. I don't know why people fighting for the same one as me, right? Anyway, so after that, I just figured maybe it's better to try my hands on the extra rather than paying from aftermarket. But this is still the keyboard I like a lot, that I will still recommend. Like if you don't know which one to get from aftermarket, this is the one that's definitely worth doing. Yeah, not saying you should spend the money on market, but if you definitely spend the money on that, this is the one I would say get it. So if you are tired of it, you can always sell at around the cost. I mean around the cost of what you pay. Because this is really a valuable thing until maybe more people get the Vega after the group buy, because people like the 65% a lot as well. So maybe that will saturate the market, give like Polaris hard sell. So yeah, sometimes time in the market is important if you are not sure if you like the keyboard or not, but getting them from group buy is always a good advice. Yeah, usually it won't go wrong if you get them from the group buy. %65%. Yeah, they are so good. I think I built one for my girlfriend and she likes it a lot just because how the 65% is the perfect layout for her and maybe for a lot of people. Like it's compact enough, it has the arrow key, not like 60%. Actually, I try to map my 60% keyboard to a really good usable state and I kind of get used to it, but still for Winkless or HHKB it's hard to get them working with like arrow keys by default. You have to do the layers no matter what on Winkless or HHKB 60%. But for regular Winky layout, you can definitely map the right corner to your arrow key. So basically this four. So this will be the up key, this down key left and right. So that's how I usually map my Winky version, but I don't think I have, oh yeah, I have one. The Keycaps number 160. It's the Winky version of 60%. Yeah, I find I use that arrow keys a lot compared to the HHKB arrow. And the other one I really like is the space function with IJKL, because it's just like right under my right fingers, right hand. So what 65% are you looking right now? Or did you already enter group buy and you're waiting? I think last year was the year of 65%. This year maybe the 60% again. So many 60% out. And I'm waiting for Jackie's Piggy 60% with big bezel. Yeah, I will definitely say wait for something you really like and get them rather than rush to get some random ones. Because you are kind of like investing your time and money on something that you don't really see it until end of the group buy. Unless you really can get hands on a prototype, otherwise it's really hard to say whether like the streamer says or the designer says is correct. Yeah, sometimes streamers just get the product maybe for free, so they don't really want to ruin the relationship, maybe for a fee. But still, like if it's not independent review, it's really hard to say whether it covers everything or not. And even they try to say all the truth, it's still their own preference. So it's really hard to say which one is the best. But yeah, getting multiple reviewers, multiple streamers to make comments on a product, and people can get used to like what that keyboard will do, then that's probably much better for a keyboard. So at the end of the day, I think for the Jelly Epoch, if people like 75%, it's a great way of getting them on hand for the streamer to review first. Then now it's good time for people to fight for it. Yeah, you never know, maybe the bots and the flippers will come and they will try to gather those keyboards and just saturate the market. Okay, so we are going to look stabilizers. Mercury 65. Yeah, I think single one is definitely a great one. I'm waiting for that. The only thing is I'm not sure whether it will be, you know, like having higher limit than previous sale, because I know Unicorn was pretty limited and pretty hyped up so that it takes less than a minute to sell out, and a lot of people in US get card decline like me. And my friend who got in for the payment processing still failed to get the final confirmation. So yeah, that's something really hard to get. And Mercury 65, I don't remember that keyboard. Is that from the Rocket keyboard? Yeah, I'm also curious about that. I think if it goes under 500, it's definitely really worth getting, because you know the group buy price. Oh, actually don't talk about group buy price. Yeah, let me click the link. Yeah, I know this one. So I think the problem on this one is it's just so expensive. I think by adding up the price, maybe some tax, I don't know whether they charge tax to your state or not, and also the shipping, it's definitely go above 500. And I don't think it will achieve better than Vega just because that's the first keyboard they are making. So you end up just like, if it's group buy, and you need to add maybe $100 on top, or even like 50 if, let's say, there's so many Vega on the market, so people try to sell for a little bit less than the in-stock units like people are selling right now, then maybe you can even just get them for $550 for a unbuilt Vega. So at that time, I would definitely go to Vega. Only 30 units US. Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to get, but also I don't know if it's worth getting, because I usually get a keyboard if I already know designer's first design work, like especially if designer already delivers before. But that also makes me on a spot that I probably won't get a lot of profit if I don't like something and something is hot, because people will probably know that work same as me. So not a lot of people will join in, so it's hard to get that keyboard as well. So it's the risk whether you want to take or not. Yeah, I don't know why the keyboards cost that much. Actually, the material cost is already a lot, and not consider like the designer's time and all the manufacturer, like the people cost. So I think the usually cost is probably like more than 50% of the keyboard, then you need to consider everything else. The margin is pretty thin. I don't think there are a lot of investors try to enter this market. It's mostly just like the enthusiastic, the hobbyist who would be able to get to the market and try to satisfy people. So yeah, a lot of things were even selling below the cost. For example, the Polaris, I think for AI03, when he actually designed the keyboard or even tried to make the manufacturer working, he didn't really consider the cost of the breastplate was so much, just because how the QC works. And people probably don't want to have a bad QC. So it end up with like a lot of rejected units, and they have to repaint, actually recoding to a different color. That's what the extra cell is. So by doing that, it adds a lot of costs. So end up like lost money on that. And also Jackie's first design, Elephant S7, I think it's under $400 for sure, and it's a big mess of like aluminum, so it's really cost a lot. So yeah, end up cost a lot and potentially making everything not affordable anymore. And I think like overall the price designer charge for the group Pi is the one that you need to look at. If you were not sure about the designer's original price, you look at the aftermarket. That's like what hype really makes. So hyped up product definitely get much more expensive. Like even the victory auction could be something like really goes off. Like the Keycaps recently for auction, the final price the 10 or 8 people paid is like 5,000 each. Yeah, I don't know. I won't really pay 5,000 for a Keycap. Yeah, that's just me. And there's some in the charity auction. I definitely understand that people want to spend on the charity and also get something nice. So spend $1,000 on some artisan keycaps, showing the love for the community is making sense. But yeah, if you were just like have public auction on a keycap unit that a lot of other keycaps were sold like 500, 600 or 700 range, I mean it's still a raffle. Yes, that's a raffle, not an auction. But yeah, you spend like 10 times of the money to get something similar, just different color. Yeah, it's the uniqueness make you really stand out, right? People love the uniqueness. Yeah, at the end of the day, a keycap is still a rectangle. I mean, I got one, I don't want to sell one. Yes, but I still won't spend $2,000 on that. But spending $500 on a Polaris is something I would say reasonable, just because how this keyboard brings a lot of value to your keyboard journey. Like, look at this brass weight, it's really heavy. So the one I got, I actually trade my Cancellation with the Keycaps, and that's when I first get Cancellation. So I don't really know a lot about the high-end keyboard, so I don't want to just like ruin the build. And for that time, I don't even know like, okay, what's the difference between brass weight and aluminum weight? Not weight, the plate. So I'd like to just like ask around to get better understanding of how I would build the Cancellation. And yeah, I think I met kind of like a keyboard friend. He definitely helped me a lot on how to build a high-end keyboard. And he's also collecting different keyboards when they are not even on the public market. So he had more than one keycap that he want to trade with the Cancellation. So the Cancellation retail is $600, with shipping from Australia to US is $80. So it's actually more expensive than the keycap at retail. And aftermarket, they were going up and down. So sometimes they go to like 2000 range, similar to the keycap range. And sometimes they go under to like 1020, 200. So totally depends how people value them. So looks like we have the plate with the gasket. Yeah, so that's one way of installing gasket, but that also reduces your chance to use another plate because you have to source your gasket yourself for other plate. So the other way I do is put the gasket on the case so that when you swap other plates, you don't need additional gasket. And we will definitely use the plate for sure, because why not? And let's do the stabilizer sticker. So if you are following the Mac Madness recently, I think the Cancellation goes to the quarterfinals right now, and its opponent is the Jane 1.5. Yeah, I don't know who whether people will vote for Cancellation or not, because most people may not try that yet. But I think the concept is pretty cool. For a keyboard, you can go 3 different mounting styles: top mount, O-ring gasket mount, or the Pro tap gasket mount. But I don't think the implementation of the final product really achieves that. Yeah, like basically for each mounting style, it's not as good as other mounting style keyboard separately. So you end up settle with something like not ideal. So yeah, sometimes you want to do too much, it may end up biting back. So try to be focused on one area, then be good at multiple areas. Yeah, rarely have a keyboard has like both the best sounding, typing feeling, and aesthetics. That's why I feel like Vega or Polaris achieve most of them if you like how they look. Okay, so we got the stickers. Now we need to install the stabilizers. Yeah, I think the most important thing about stabilizers were the contacting point of the wire and the housing. So after that, you will be able to like loop afterwards. Hey, welcome! So I'm building a Polaris tonight, and end result is already here. Yeah, just kidding. This is my own personal Polaris with the HHKB layout. And the one I'm building right now is another one. It's the Winky layout, and I will build with the Sengen option, which is 7U bottom row, split backspace, and split right shift, which is the best one. What's my opinion on wood case? I don't think they sound that good, but if you like the look, it may be for you. Especially like each wooden case may show different pattern, so sometimes you may not have the perfect one that you want. but that's just the nature of, like, you know, one-time custom. So I think there are some good wooden case on the market right now, but try not go to the, you know, mass product one. Yeah, I think for entry level, KBD fans has some good wooden ones, but they are not like any high end per se. So I will get, actually I already get my client Gentleman 65%. So that's a bamboo or maybe a walnut case with acrylic under. So the bottom case is acrylic, so the underglow can shine through. Yeah, so that one is pretty cool, and I think they have some extras after selling, I mean, like shipping the GB units. And I believe they are on track to ship them mid-April. Is that tomorrow? Okay, yeah, I don't think they are on track anymore. I don't even see a prototype of walnut case yet. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to overpromise. I think original timeline was the end of March, and at end of March they said it will be mid-April, but I don't think I see one walnut prototype yet. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that. Hopefully they will show me some surprise, but I doubt that will happen very soon. But yeah, if you want to try get that, potentially a good one to get. Okay, so let's put the PCB aside, and we are going to put the switches here. So what's in your mind about wooden case? Do you like them because of how they look, or do you have an idea of how they sound? So the switches I'm using is the looped H1 switches. So basically they are the JWK switch, and once looped they are pretty smooth, and you can spring swap them with some lighter version because they stock spring were 78 gram, which is pretty high. And people like the sound of them. I don't know how much sound difference between this H1 with other JWK linear. But yeah, after all, they are all JWK linear. Okay, looks like it's very easy to put these switches in, so potentially I will just go putting all the switches with the platform together, so I don't need to like do the guesswork later. Yeah, so the platform is not covering every aspect, so it may not provide the best consistent of typing sound. So take your own judgment on whether using them or not. But in general, I find using them provides better, deeper, like less echo sound. And especially for people who may not like hollowness, this would be the option to go. Yeah, I think the JWK linear switches on the breastplate were a nice working ones, because you end up not be able to destroy your switches since they clip really well. Okay, so this is center of 7U, right? You order a wooden case for your first build. Yeah, if you're new, try get something you like, looks good to add to your collection. because you're right. When you have no preference, everything new is interesting to take a look. Did I do anything wrong? Yeah, I did one thing wrong, which is I installed the right shift, but I don't need to install right shift. I'm just done. I need to install the enter key. So the wooden case you get, if it's not expensive, I bet it's a tray mount. So I would definitely recommend trying to find a case form. Go below. So you can have much less hollowness if you know what case form is. So case form is basically the layer under PCB. Okay, I need to remove these stickers for sure because it blocks the right shift key and the function key. Yeah, so case form is definitely good for wooden case and very important. So depends on if you get the PCB from KB Defense, they probably sell the case form. And if you don't, you can check out my video from YouTube that you can use packaging form to go with your case, work as a case form. I would recommend that to be your first customization other than the stabilizers, because everybody will do stabilizers. So knowing if you like the case form is important down the line. And using some packaging form to do that is pretty neat way of trying out. Since you are not spending any amount of money and you end up DIY something for free, for coolness and for the sound. Okay, going back to the build, we are going to put the split right shift, so everything else should still work well, right? Okay, yeah. And the top row. Yeah, I didn't really work with a keyboard that's putting the gasket on the plate yet, so it's kind of nice touching when I when I touch the gasket, so I know okay how soft they are. And AL3 actually make the gasket a secret that it's really hard to get without knowing what they are. Yeah, I think that's what makes the Vega and Polaris so much good. So people said this plate is the black plate, black coated brass plate. But for me, it looks really gray. It's not like exact black, which you will find the anodized back. Okay, I think it's time for me to advertise myself a little bit on different channels so people know I'm streaming. Yeah, I want to get more people to give me advice or ask me questions so I don't waste time to just putting the switches. Okay, so what channel I want to post? Yeah, just some self-promo channel. Yeah, you know the drill. Okay, sending all the spams to the channel. Now keep working on the build. Yeah, I actually like the H1 switches. It's all black, so it looks pretty cool. So make sure I work with the step caps lock, which is something that clients really want. And that definitely provides the uniqueness of a custom keyboard. I think most of my customers who go to the caps lock, step caps lock, shows the love of them. But not many PCB really work with them. I mean, most of PCB work with that, but not like you always get that option. Thanks for the follow, Pixel 17. Yeah, my eyes were not cute to look at your name. But yeah, thanks for follow and looking at my stream. So currently I'm building this Polaris with the H1 switches, unless you are the client. Otherwise, this is a great keyboard to work with, and also the best typing feeling and best sounding keyboard I've ever used. So even though I didn't build this one personally, I actually built two before. So one is right around here, and the other I sent to my client. Yeah, I think building keyboard is definitely something that put me away from all the madness of the world. Okay, so we got this one with the breastplate working very well. It looks cool, and also it should sound cool, even though it's a breastplate. But yeah, I don't really see any bad option on a Polaris before. So let's bet this one will look good and sound good. Hello. No problem. Yeah, I actually enjoy building this keyboard, so that's definitely something I look forward to do. Even though I already built two, before. I mean, not exact the same one. I built one HHKB, one WKL version. So this is like make the completion of all the gray Polaris that I've ever built. So I built all the gray Polaris on the market now. So yeah, so this is the PCB, bottom of the PCB, and we got all switches in and stabilizers looped. So the one I posted, the gray one posted on Beer65 Discord. Did I even post that before? I totally don't recall. Let me check. From myself, and also have the image. Has image. Okay, I think I post too many photos to date. I definitely post one white one. I don't remember if I post any gray ones. And let me sure if I get, maybe not the channel, right? Maybe I post in other channel. Oh yes, I got that one. So that one is basically the Winky version. Yeah, sorry, that's the HHKB version. But that's just the bottom, so all the bottom looks like the same. So it's really hard to tell from the top. They are all the same. Okay, cool. So it's time to solder. And let's make sure we got this keyboard protected so we don't have solder on the keyboard. Okay, we need a fan for soldering. And also, yeah, let's fire up the iron. Okay, hopefully I don't burn myself. Yeah, so in general I built all 3 Polaris already, which this one is the last one to complete all the gray ones. And I like the Winky version because I can definitely set them up for the right bottom corner as enter keys. Okay. So the fan is up, yeah. So there's 2 options. I can do noise cancellation, or I can just leave the fan on. I mean, I should leave the fan always on, but I'm just wondering whether I should do noise cancellation on the sound or just leave it like this. So the 2 options here is one noise cancellation. So if I turn that on, it will be like this. And yeah, I bet we don't really need music on this part, just because how the music is already really annoying during the noise cancellation. So yeah, without further ado, let's do the solder part and let's see if we can. So now it's 8:52, and since this is a build that I built so many times, let's see if we can finish by 20 minutes or 15. Yeah, I won't go low on the quality. I just want to make sure I can focus and make sure this will be a good one. Yeah, as always, make sure the corner will tighten up. And one thing I like about brass plate is it's pretty much make sure the switches were sitting flat, sitting all through if you just do all the 4 corners, because there's not much going on around for the center of the plate. So once you make sure all the corners were pretty tied up, the remaining should work very well. And if you're building some soft plate material, like even you try to harden the corner, the center, or maybe the corner center, center corner, center, mid center, could still have the problem. So that's like I like about that. Yeah, I'm not really good at speed run anyway, so let's see how that goes. Yeah, but for brass plate, I think speed run is fine, because for other plate, I definitely need to make sure like all the sides were pretty sitting flat. But for brass plate, I only need to make sure 6 anchoring points were doing great. And at the end of the day, it's still better than Max solder. Max solder need too much tension paid around whether you did good job. Like anyone, you put too much solder and end up like getting solder into socket, probably take you 10 times off the soldering to desolder one socket. But for regular soldering, as long as the plates were like firm so that all the switches were sitting tight, it's actually like working like charm when you do soldering. So we're thinking about searching for FR4. This alu split especially soft. I don't know. I feel like is this brass or alu? I want to make sure before I go further, because from the weight it feels like a brass plate. And also let's test the sound. Okay, so this is alu. Interesting. Yeah, I always thought this is brass because I only see a brass plate. And yeah, you're right, you mentioned it's alu plate. So I actually like the alu plate sound much better than the brass one. Yeah, my original plan tonight is to use the water king and the Everglide stabilizers I got from the EL board supply to try on the devastating TKL. But I don't think like it's any fault of the EL board supply. It's really the problem of USPS. So the package was in the San Francisco area 2 days ago. Like on Monday, it's already in San Francisco area, but it's just keep arriving late. I don't know if they were getting lost on the package or they just like don't know where the package now is. But yeah, it just keep arriving late. And the last note location is San Francisco Dispatch Center, or the San Francisco Local Center. Yeah, it's like being in this area for 2-3 days and still no estimate delivery date. Yeah, at least I didn't really pay attention to make sure this is the one I will use tonight. So I get the chance to build this Polaris. But yeah, no matter what, I will probably get the Water King and the Everglide V2 stabilizers at some point and do a review of how the switch sounds, switch feel, stock versus maybe looped, and maybe looped and filmed. So we will know, okay, whether we should do that or not. Because sometimes if the switch is really good at stock, I'm just lazy, maybe I don't need to loop them for my own personal collections if they are hot swap, because I'm swapping switches a lot for my own personal keyboard. Like, you know, I'm building keyboard a lot, so it's really hard for me to stick with one keyboard and one switches for a really long time. So it's better to make all my keyboard hot swap and try different combination all the time. That's why I end up building and getting all kinds of like typing sound tests, because I kind of make my keyboard mostly soft, like hot swap, so they have soft configuration that I can change all the time. And I'm a fan of getting different plates all the time. Like, yeah, each one has a like unique sound signature on different plates. So even you have tried maybe one plate on one board, doesn't mean the other keyboard will have the same sound or typing with the same material of plate. So yeah, I'm always up to try different plates on different keyboard and find the best material on that keyboard. Stabilizers is the hardest part of the keyboard building, and keyboard, I won't say maintaining, but it's more like keyboard modding and, you know, like keep using that. So that's why I try to spend another 2 days to final like tuning the keyboard if there's a chance, because at the end of the day, the state of how the keyboard is just built is very different from after typing for 2 days. So I probably will hold this keyboard for another 2 days until I say it's ready for people to pick it up. Carbon fiber, yeah, I think I had bad memory about carbon fiber plate for the tofu, but that's tofu, so I shouldn't judge the carbon fiber plate on tofu with some high-end keyboard. Yeah, so that's something like you should not judge by something by only your experience on one keyboard. Things will change when you go up to another standard. I have a good shelf, but maybe not the best shelf that I can get. So far, the problem is I don't have, you know, fixed keyboard layout, keyboard configuration. So I end up like just changing them all the time. So I getting them out from the shelf all the time. So they end up like laying around at my garage. So I can change the keycaps and switches whenever I want, rather than sitting on the shelf. So yeah, if I really put a keyboard on the shelf, that means it's done. It's done by a good standard. Cool, so finished up. Is that like under 10 minutes? Huh. Okay, I like this keyboard. Building is much faster. Test the PCB and bring back the music. Okay, nice. Nothing missing. I just not finished building the keyboard, but finished soldering the keyboard. So the next part is really just like assemble and put keycaps on. They are not cherry black. They look like cherry black, but just type the command, build command, so you know what the configuration it is. And I need to wash my hands. Yeah, you guessed it right. Okay, now it's time for us to bring back my Polaris. And just say it's done. Okay, so I've got the SA Oblivion keycaps on that. My garage is not that chilly. I think it's like, let me check the temperature. It's almost same as the like indoor temperature, so not that bad. Yeah, SA Oblivion is like the one I got from Group Buy last summer, and finally I get that. Still, it's definitely better, much better than any GMK, because the GMK I've got for estimate of like Q1 or delay to Q3. Yeah, garage is not as good as indoor, but it gives me the most flexibility of doing anything without interrupting my roommates and my girlfriend's life. So that's why I'm in the garage. Also, garage has much larger room, so less healthy issue potentially. Okay, so let's assemble the case together. Hopefully I don't miss anything. But yeah, this case already, I mean not the case, but plate already equipped with the gasket, and we were just doing case form with it, and the plate form is already pre-installed. Yeah, I kind of lay it up. I have my sweaters and also the jacket, and this jacket is for people who come to the conference from other side of the world and thinking in the summer California is definitely a warm place, so the conference just prepared the jacket for everyone because they know how cold it is for San Francisco during the summer. Same color, everything, yes. It's also same as my gray Polaris from the bottom, right? Yeah, we all have the same one. So yeah, Miss Frosty is the one who I built the gray Winkless Polaris, and I have my own HHKB Polaris, gray one. And tonight I'm building one Winky version for Pop Spicy, yes. So owner of all gray Polaris gathered together. Witness the last one. United with the family. Yeah, now I wish I still have that Winkless version so I can make a family photo. But I know it's a great keyboard that Miss Frosty is enjoying typing every day now. Okay, but it will be very different sound signature and typing feeling. Yes, the same gold brass weight. Yeah, definitely the gray Polaris made up. Okay, so the keycaps. So the one you have comes with black somehow, but mine is also coming with the gold brass weight. So I don't know whether you, yeah, I guess it's about like whether you can choose it or not, or maybe it's just like random. So it's really hard to say which is which. Yeah, brass weight is pretty neat for, you know, like the gray, but I don't think you will recognize it's a brass weight. So just wait a second, let me show something. So look at this boy. So this E-white Winkless version has the black, and I think this is the E-black, so it looks very shiny, same as the E-white. I just have so many Polaris because I like them a lot. Yeah, that's like the best keyboard I've owned. That's why, no, this is not mine, this is the client ones, but these two, the top and bottom, were my personal ones. And I already put the gasket, you can see that, and I actually sold my Holly Panda build just because I need to cover the cost, and I'm planning to build this one with maybe half aluminum plate. But yeah, I totally like this one. I mean, it's already mercy I don't own 3 ones. They're just my best recommendation for whoever got into the hobby and want to spend 500. Polaris chat only. Yeah, show your Polaris, maybe there's some code. My bad, I put the function row. To be honest, they are not looking that bad because of the color contrast of F5 to F8. So more importantly, which color is your favorite? Gray or non-gray? So other than Polaris, what other 60%? So it will depend on the price point. So if I'm just getting any 60% without any budgeting, I would say get the unicorn, but that's too much. If you were spending money on the second-hand market, it's around 1,500 now. But if you want to get like similar feeling, I would say try the UTD 356 Mini. I don't think there's any prototype or even any typing sound on that, but definitely for like the OTD 356 Mini clone, I had a lot of anticipation for that. Yes, that's a lot of money for a keyboard. So if you really enjoy using Unicorn, especially looking at the bottom every day, I would say get that. I'm not checking my keyboard butt every night, so I probably won't get that. So Unicorn is like, without the budget consideration, my recommendation. But with the budget consideration, other than Polaris, I would say try to get the is that called Profit? Yeah, Profit, the pin mount 60% keyboard. It's a very like flexible typing feeling keyboard. So the weight design is very old centric. If you really think about like vintage, that's what the weight design is. So it's not really for, you know, people who are looking for modern keyboard. It's more like how a good keyboard will look like 5 years ago. And it's really just like how they do the evolutionary change for the market. That makes that keyboard very unique. So there's like 2 black dots on the spacebar. I'm not sure what these 2 dots were, but yeah, maybe it's possible to clean, but I will just leave it as is. Yeah, the O-ring gasket mount without falling down is pretty interesting. And if you want to get a cheaper alternative, I think Canon Key is trying to release one that won't cost $1,000, but it will have similar like O-ring gasket mount, and that's an affordable one. But it didn't really use the best anode. I think it used just regular paint job, so it's more like a budget-friendly option than your endgame like keyboard. Yeah, I guess this is not really like a manufacturer defect. Maybe it's just like the stain on the keyboard itself. Yeah, I don't want to really hurt that, so I will just leave it as is. I will let you decide what to do with it. So you're really nitpicking on the design now. But yeah, I think the UTD 356 Mini were like good option to consider nowadays for keyboard. And also another one, if you really want to check out, is the Salvation. So it's a tray mount, but it's a very non-traditional tray mount. Okay, so let's do the typing test, don't we? Okay, let's first take a closer look. So the window capture. So it's not really flat typing profile. I think it's still like angled, similar to this one. And I don't think it has the best bottom looking. So this one, the Polaris is looking like a very signature AIO3 design, but let me show the Salvation. Actually, looking at salvation on the stream doesn't really make me want to get that. And you know why? Yeah, let me see if I can find that photo. What photo I'm trying to find? Salvation. Oh yeah, I think the bottom looks like AnyPro 2. Yeah, let me share that one I find. How to share the window capture? Okay, so let me share. Not this one. This one? No. Yeah. Let me just download this one. Yeah, so let me show you one thing quickly. It's definitely worth it. I just need to find where it is. Where is it? I have so many windows open. Oh yeah, this one. So this is the bottom of the salvation. Right, this is bottom of the salvation. And the next one, you are looking. Oh wait, yeah, I just don't know how to navigate through like different window sharing. Sorry about that. And this is the AnyPro bottom. Yeah, so I found online this is AnyPro bottom. So I really feel like they looks very close. But yeah, it's just like my one thing about the salvation button. So I definitely prefer the look of Polaris. This is definitely better looking. Okay, I need to figure out how I can share photos next time easily. I just don't know how to navigate through OBS. Okay, time to typing test. We don't have any light up, so we just need to type on the keyboard. Yeah, so if you want to get a group buy right now, if you like the tray mount, get a salvation. If you like the O-ring gasket mount, get the UTD6356 mini. And gasket mount, I don't really know, like recent gasket mounts. Okay, wait for Piggy. Jackie is Piggy, because I'm helping him, so I would definitely recommend Piggy. Okay, cool. So this is the, not salvation, this is the gray Polaris. And yes, Piggy all the way. Let's do the typing test with the microphone. Get close. So here we have the Winky Polaris Gray built with H1 on aluminum plate, and it comes with both case foam and plate foam, so I use them both. Oh, I noticed I didn't remove the noise cancellation. Yeah, maybe the sound will be different. And also let me reply to my girlfriend. She's asking me something. Oh yeah. I need to go for like 2-3 minutes. So I will be right back. I will come back with a better sound typing test because I just had the noise cancellation on. So be right back. Don't go away now. Okay, I'm promised I will be back. So I came back. Okay, so let's see the chat. Okay, beer 65. I know, piggy beer were the best. And I see. Okay, let's just do another typing test. And H1 JWK were really good. Ooh, this is just like another music, right? Okay, so let's just do the mod sounds. Okay, hopefully I don't really close the window this time, so I will just switch to VR. So not really like close this. I don't have cable commands, but this cable is from what cable is? This cable is smart space cable, and this colorway is the GMK Nightshade colorway. And plate material, yeah, I shouldn't forget mention that, but client told me this is the aluminum version. Yeah, it didn't sound really like vibrant or very high pitch, so apparently great material for sound and typing feeling. And the bonus part of this stream is another Polaris which I own, and I built this with FR4 half plate and also JWK linear. This is like the alpaca switch, and I'm using SA Oblivion, which is another different sound. And here's the mod sound. Yeah, the FR4 plate just sounds very different. Yeah, SA were just a little bit too high, too high. And yeah, if you're really considering cat, I think I have one kitty cat that I don't know if I will need that anymore. So maybe if you want to grab, we can discuss about that later. But yeah, that's a FR4 plate with no platform and GWK linear sound with SA. And go back to what we built tonight. I think in general my stabilizers work were just I think solid. And the keyboard itself, I think the H1 sounds pretty nice. And also the typing feeling of 70 gram, a little bit too heavy for me. Yeah, definitely. I'm 63.5 gram. Yeah, I think spacebar were a little bit higher pitch, or maybe a little bit too distinct, and other keys. Yeah, that's the unique signature of Polaris. So either you want to add some spacebar form on the keys if you want to get consistent typing sound, or you can leave it with it. Yeah, I think 78 gram is just too much. But yeah, I actually kind of enjoy the color of Botanical on gray. Yeah, I don't know, like the white definitely works fine, and the mod looks, and also the accent looks similar or closer to the gray. So now I feel like the green and gray were pretty good combo. Okay, so this is just placeholder. You have better choice, right? But this is definitely a great keycaps for a lot of keyboards, especially different, you know, like just in general, white keyboard, black keyboard, all works very well. Yeah, going to give this one a bit different taste. But yeah, I guess this is a great keyboard to build, and also I probably will still test for a day or two, so I can leave you a good state when I return back. But in general, this is a good keyboard after building tonight. And let's see what we will go next. Yeah, I will probably loop all the switches for another client and try to build the GMK Pro on Friday. So if people are interested, GMK Pro on Friday. Yeah, you're not in rush. Yeah, that's the best. Sometimes gotta wait for a day or two so that I can make sure I return a good state. So last time I had a keyboard. Yeah, last time I had a keyboard that I end up like holding that for a week because every time I type on that, I had some failing keys, or maybe there's some problem on spacebar. So I end up like tuning the spacebar keycaps and replacing the failing keys with other like cream switches. So I bet that's just like bad switches after soldering, or maybe just like before soldering they are not perfect. And yeah, I end up like fixing that and take a week for getting back because I don't want to have bad state for the like customer to use and have to return. So yeah, take your time to wait for the keyboard and I will guarantee this is a good keyboard for you. And wow, I build keyboard faster and faster now. Even for solder, I actually end up just doing under 1 hour half. But yeah, enjoy this keyboard when you get this one, and people, if you want to get other keyboards and want to get me build that, definitely reach out to me. Cool. Have a good night, everyone. Last thing, get a Polaris. My best advice to everybody who come to the hobby want to spend $500, get a Polaris. Bye.